Pillar 3. Tragic Amor Fati. Tragic Amor Fati calls for love of fate in its complete and unfiltered form, including the version that carries the knife. The practitioner does not merely endure or tolerate horror with gritted teeth. They affirm it with eyes wide open, embracing the betrayal by those once trusted, the slow and painful decay of the body, the crushing indifference of stars that will outlast every human cry of suffering or triumph. This love is not masochistic self-harm or romanticization of pain. It is the ultimate assertion of inner freedom, the deliberate choice to claim ownership over what cannot be escaped. By actively loving the darkness, its wounds, its silences, its inevitable endings, one robs those forces of their power to shatter the self through resistance or futile hope. The affirmation becomes a recurring ritual, spoken or internalized as, even this wound, even this silence, even this ending, I claim it as mine. Tragic Amor Fati deepens ordinary acceptance into a profound existential stance that confronts the full weight of tragedy without flinching or seeking cosmic justification. It transforms suffering from an external assault into an integrated part of one's narrative, fostering a sovereignty that persists even when circumstances turn cruel. Tragic Amor Fati sustains the individual through prolonged adversity by converting passive endurance into active, defiant affirmation, ensuring that fate, no matter how harsh, never holds final dominion over character. The love is tragic because it acknowledges irreversible loss and absurdity. Yet it remains empowering because it originates entirely from within the will. This love demands complete surrender to reality, without negotiation or softening. Fate does not arrive gently. It comes armed, pressing the knife against the most tender places, the trust broken by those closest, the body's gradual betrayal through pain and limitation, the vast emptiness of stars that continue their indifferent dance long after every human voice falls silent. The practitioner meets this arrival without turning away. Eyes remain open. The blade is felt in full, and still the choice is made to love what cuts. This is not weakness or defeat. It stands as the strongest declaration possible, that even what cannot be controlled can be claimed entirely as one's own. Resistance creates the breaking point. Active love removes the fracture by making the darkness internal rather than oppositional. The depth here lies in refusing every form of bargaining. No secret hope lingers that fate will eventually turn kinder. No expectation waits for balance or reward. No quiet demand seeks justification from the universe. The knife cuts, and the cut is loved. The wound bleeds, and the bleeding is loved. The silence descends, and the silence is loved. Each element receives the same full embrace. The words, even this wound, even this silence, even this ending, I claim it as mine, become more than speech. They turn into the steady pulse, reshaping the self from within, repeated through every layer of darkness until ownership feels complete and unbreakable. Tragic Amor Fati strips away every illusion of protection or fairness. Betrayal comes without warning from the most trusted directions. The body begins its inevitable decline, bringing pain that philosophy cannot erase. The cosmos spins forward in perfect detachment from every human story of joy or agony. Yet in this raw confrontation, something powerful takes root. Suffering stops operating as an outside invader. It integrates into the living narrative of the self, becoming a thread that belongs rather than attacks. The pain remains real and undiminished, but the extra layer of torment born from fighting the inevitable dissolves. What arrives is fully received, and in that full reception, the spirit stays intact. The stance requires feeling everything without reservation. Horror is not minimized. Loss is not reframed into false positivity. The absurdity of existence stands acknowledged in full. Irreversible endings are seen clearly, and through all of it, the love holds. It is active, not passive. It turns deliberately toward the storm instead of bracing against it. Every new wound offers another chance to repeat the claim, to deepen the ownership, to pull the darkness inside where it can no longer threaten from without. What begins as endurance transforms into something fiercer, a defiant affirmation that meets each blow, already standing in ownership of it. This love does not rely on hope, because hope can be destroyed. It does not depend on fairness, because fairness is often absent. It depends solely on the will's capacity to claim and love what is, exactly as it is. The knife still cuts deeply. The body still decays. The stars remain coldly distant. Yet none of these forces achieve final dominion because the response originates entirely from within. Betrayal arrives, and it is claimed. Decay arrives, and it is claimed. Silence and ending arrive, and they too are claimed. The claiming itself becomes the source of freedom no external power can revoke. The tragic quality remains essential and unsoftened. This love sees the irreversible loss without blinking. It faces the absurdity without demanding meaning be injected into it. It acknowledges the frequent cruelty and pointlessness without asking the universe for mercy or explanation. The tragedy is permitted to stay tragic. The knife is permitted to stay sharp. And in that unflinching permission, a strange sovereignty emerges. The self no longer waits for better conditions. It does not postpone strength until the pain eases. It finds strength inside the pain by loving the pain itself into integration. What was once an assault becomes part of the architecture of character. Through extended hardship, this affirmation proves sustaining. When difficulty stretches across months or years, when losses accumulate without relief, when the body weakens and trusted structures fall away, the active love continues. Passive endurance eventually splinters under sustained weight. Defiant love grows denser under the same pressure. Each fresh wound reinforces the claim. Each new silence deepens the ownership. The character that forms carries visible marks, yet those marks testify to victory rather than defeat. Fate may deliver the blows, but it never conquers the inner response. Tragic Amor Fati reveals the deepest freedom available. While the external world dictates events, The self dictates the final place those events occupy inside the soul. The knife cuts, yet the one who loves the knife continues unbowed. The body fades, yet the one who loves the fading remains sovereign in spirit. The stars offer no notice, yet the one who loves their indifference has already transcended any need for their attention. This love does not dull the blade or stop the decay. It makes both survivable. It makes both part of a larger, self-authored whole. In its core, tragic Amor Fati forges strength that endures where other responses eventually fail. It offers no promise that pain will lessen or that justice will arrive. It offers only the certainty that the will can claim ownership over even the harshest manifestations of fate. The love is tragic, yes. It carries full awareness of loss and absurdity. Yet for that precise reason, it becomes unbreakable. The practitioner walks forward, carrying the knife they have chosen to love, no longer its victim, but its possessor. Every wound, every silence, every ending stands claimed. And in that claiming, the self remains free, even as the darkness deepens around it.